Welcome to Call to Post, the Off the Bench Podcast Network feature dedicated to thoroughbred racing. Hosting today's show will be Brandon Ferst, and Brandon will be joined by Raider Jim Martinez. Grab some paper, make some notes, enjoy yourselves. Let's talk thoroughbred racing. Riders up.
What is up, everyone? Brandon Ferst, aka First Report, representing the First Off the Bench Podcast Network. Everyone comes off the bench. We are first. Welcome into another edition of the original Call to Post here on the network. We break everything down in North American thoroughbred racing. Obviously, a lot to get to this weekend, as it is the pretty much the final weekend of the Breeders' Cup Win and You're In races. As always, with me to break it down is my co-host, Raider Jim Martinez. You can find Raider Jim at Raider Jim 1090. Mr. Martinez, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. We got rain earlier in the week. The sun's back out, though. Horse racing is taking place, and we are just a few weeks away from the Breeders' Cup. Hard to believe.
I cannot wait. It's been the long kind of wait, getting, holding your breath on how it would go down. And now, it does seem as it will be as normal. And I'll put those in air quotes for all of our listeners not able to see it. It's going to be as normal as it can be post-COVID. But it's going to be a lot of fun. But at the same time, we still got to kind of get these fields together. This is, as I said, the last big weekend of Win and You're In races. There is a race next Wednesday at Keeneland, but just we record on Thursdays. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to help you out on that one. But as always, another fantastic reminder to give myself. You can follow me at First Report, but definitely at Raider Jim 1090, not just that Wednesday, but also, the ones on Saturdays and Sundays that we maybe don't talk about here. Raider Jim will have you covered on some of those as well. And you can definitely feel free to reach out to us through the old DMs. Slide on into the DMs, folks, and we'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction, or at least help you out however we can. But as mentioned, it is time to dive right in. And just another thing, we haven't really kind of been going back and recapping some of the races that we talked about the week before. In the coming weeks, that's when we'll kind of dive into what's been going on. In the last few weeks, we've been covering 7-8 races a show. So we don't have a ton of time to kind of go back and look. But in the next few weeks, that's when we'll focus on that, kind of build the field, at least tentatively, before we get those past performances and can really break down the full Breeders' Cup weekend. But with that, it will be pretty much all eyes on Keeneland this weekend. I do believe it is their opening, at least for their fall meet. Essentially, their Bing Crosby, or their Breeders' Cup season, if you will, has begun. They don't have the Breeders' Cup this year, but they're still going to have races going on around the same time. And we will see a couple Win and You're In. We'll start on Friday, October 8th. This is going to be race number 8. It is the Ogden Phoenix Stakes. Let me just get myself ready. Yes, the Stoll Keenan Ogden Phoenix. It's going to get you into the Breeders' Cup Sprint. They're going 6 furlongs on the dirt. The purse, $250,000 for 3-year-olds and up. Raider Jim, I'll give you the honors to get us started on the Ogden Phoenix Stakes.
Yeah, a small field, and I will tell you, this is going to be interesting because a lot of the races, as you and I talked about before you hit record, there's a lot of 10, 11 horse fields that are going to be running that we'll talk about. This is a small field. There's only going to be 7 entries and 7 fast entries. I mean, if you look at the E-speeds, I use the Equibase speeds, and if you look at their speeds at the distance, they are nose and nose. The one that stands out the most is not the favorite, but at 9-2, the 7 horse, Sir Alfred James. 33% of the races in the winner's circle, has only had 14 days off, and I like that horse's chances a lot in this race. That's 7 horse Alfred James. The favorite, morning line favorite, is number 6, Special Reserve, currently at 9-5. Ran in the Vanderbilt handicap, which is a grade 1, ran an E speed of 115, came in second to Lexitonian. And again, another one of those things. If you came in second to Usain Bolt, Doesn't mean you're not fast. It just means you ran against real fast. So to come in second to Lexingtonian is not a slight on the record, that's for sure. Special Reserve is probably going to be the fastest horse out there, but I think it will be 6 Special Reserve, 7 Sir Alfred James. Also like the 5 horse Aloha West. Aloha West is 4 out of 7 in the winner's circle, and winner's circle the last time out. The other one that's out there that you've got to watch, you can go underneath with any of these, take your pick, but the 4 horse Just Might. Great horse, winner's circle last time off. The other thing I like, only 20 days off. And I think in these sprint races like this, the least amount of rest they have, if they have good workouts, and I've checked the workouts, so everybody's doing just fine, everybody's in good health, this is going to be a fast field.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of piggybacking on the workouts. Aloha West, 2 of its last 3 workouts, it's been the fastest running at that distance for those workouts. And the last one was at Keeneland, ran 3 furlongs very fast, the best of the 7 horses that ran there. Special Reserve, just to kind of also piggyback on what you said, it's excuse me, only lost twice this year. And both of those times it still placed, as you talked about, Lexingtonian in the Vanderbilt. I could even go back to the Commonwealth at Keeneland, ran in 91. Probably will need to improve on that. The only horse that was good enough to beat it was Flagstaff, a horse that I believe we talked about last week as a horse that could possibly be a horse that I think it was possibly in the Classic. So we'll see how that goes. They're obviously Special Reserve, the odds-on favorite. I will throw in another one here, Mucho. Now 6-1. It's going to be, it's going to need a hell of a run. It's going to need to improve on the 95s it kind of puts up. You're probably going to need to be higher than that just to get into the money. But the reason I do like that horse is it did run against hold on. Let me just get it right. Aloha West back in June, the 25th of June at Churchill, actually beat Aloha West. Mucho came in second to Bango in that one. I think it was the Kelly's Landing. But that's definitely one to keep an eye on. And I'm right there with you on Sir Alfred James. This is a horse last time out ran a 103 according to the buyer. It was an optional claiming. I understand that. But look, this is a horse that won by, pretty much 6 lengths in that race, stepping up here for sure. But it has ran in, some of the ungraded stakes races. And look, a big part of what Sir Alfred James is going to be really happy about is that horse I talked about, Bango, is not going to be in it. The last 4 races for Sir Alfred James, it's been in the winner's circle twice. The only time it did not finish in the winner's circle, it was Bango in there. No Bango, so should be no problem for Sir Alfred James. I really like that pick there of the 7 horse you talked about, and the 6 horse and the Aloha West. I will say just keep an eye on Mucho. Like I said, we'll have to definitely improve on what it's done. But I do think, like I said, it's run against a lot of these horses in the past. Hasn't necessarily beat them outside of Aloha West. It has lost to Just Might, has lost to Special Reserve. But I think it's 6-1, even with that number probably going up. I think it's definitely worth a look for you there. Big stuff this weekend at Keeneland, and it's just getting started there with that Friday. That is a grade 2 Ogden Phoenix Stakes. Moving on to the grade 1, and you know what? I thought I had it, but I'm going to pass it over to you, Raider Jim. How do we pronounce the name of this stakes?
It's the Darley Alcibiades Stakes.
Perfect. Could not have said it any better myself. Literally, it took me about 15 minutes and I was still not anywhere close to that. So that will be race number 9 at Keeneland. This will get you into the juvenile fillies. So we're going to be talking about 2-year-old fillies here in this race, going 1 mile and 16. I'll get this one started. The first horse that kind of jumped out to me is the 1 horse Juju's Map. You of course have Brad Cox and Florent Giroux. You can't really get away from those 2. That's a heck of a way to go. I mean, you could probably just say that and feel good about that. I will throw another one out there. It's the 10 horse, currently 4-1 Penny Saver. You got Kenny McPeak. training that horse. Last time out for Penny Saver, broke its maiden at Churchill, ran an 85 at this distance as well. So that's something else to keep an eye on. There aren't a ton of these horses that have gone a mile and 16th. Penny Saver not only has gone a mile and 16th, won at a mile and 16th, and put up a very, very formidable 85 to get the win in that race. I do have a couple other horses to look out for. I really do like, I know it's 12-1, the 6 horse, another Kenny McPeak horse, Mama Rena. Like I said, 12-1, has been in the money in every single run so far this in its career, 3 for 3, only once in the winner's circle. However, that one time in the winner's circle, once again, at a mile and 16th, will 100% have to improve on the 72 that this horse ran after getting, just blown away by Hidden Connection in the Pocahontas. This horse will be ready to roll in 3-week break. That's definitely something to keep an eye on as well. The last horse I want to talk about is Diamond Wow, 8-1, 2 for 2 in its career. Definitely stretching out here. Last time out, I think that's Gulfstream Park, ran in a ungraded stakes race, ran in 78. So once again, we'll have to improve there to get in there in this one. Finished in the winner's circle, won by 2 lengths, but only at 7 furlongs. So once again, like a lot of these horses, when you have a lot of these 2-year-olds late in the year, sometimes when they do stretch out to the 2 turns, you're going to have a lot of them. You just kind of have to take the word of the trainer that they can run at that distance. But Raider Jim, what are your thoughts on the race number 9 at Keeneland? I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, good calls all the way around, because I will tell you, Juju's Map has definitely got the jockey trainer combination, but I like number 10 Penny Saver to put the real race on the track this day. And again, for the same reason, as you pointed out, it was Mama Rena, the 6 horse, it's Penny Saver, the 10 horse, the only 2 that have had starts at this distance, the only 2 that have won at this distance, and Penny Saver is no slouch. So look for Penny Saver to be real strong in this one. There's also the 7 horse, Monterey. Monterey at 4-1, a decent horse, has had a little bit of time off, 1 for 1 this year though in the winner's circle, not too bad at all. And I even like the 2 horse Misinterpret at 10-1. Excuse me, yeah, the 2 horse at 10-1 Misinterpret. But I would tell you that my 3 choices, I also have Diamond Wow written down, but it's going to be Penny Saver, Monterey, Mama Rena, and Juju's Map. Those would be mine.
There is a ton of value here. This is the
There-
quintessential follow the odds, follow the tote board, 10, 15 minutes before the race. That's when you really dive in. Look at how the lines have moved. You got Juju's Map at 5-2. Everybody else, I think 4-1 for Monterey, and everyone else is going to be higher than that. So, we looked at last race, it was a lot of 9-5s, 5-2s, 7-2s. This one, not so much, definitely a lot more open. And I think that kind of speaks to, look, the 2-year-olds and what we talked about. A lot of these horses have not ran at a mile and 16. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. And once again, the 2 that have at least, look, Juju's Map ran at a mile. So I'll give credit there, that 16th of a mile. The biggest thing for me, I believe, is the horses kind of knowing when it's time to turn it on. And when only horses have ran at 1 turn, they don't always quite know, they might give everything on that back stretch and realize, oh, wait, we still got to keep going. But that is something definitely to keep an eye on. A lot of value in that race. And hopefully by Saturday, I'll figure out how to correctly pronounce that. But let's move on to Saturday at Keeneland. Another massive day for Keeneland. Definitely the big one for them pre Breeders' Cup. Obviously, we will start race number 6. It's going to be the grade 2. Whoops, I lost it. The grade 2 Woodford Stakes. And this is going to get you into, I might be mistaken here. Nope, I take it back.
Race,
Woodford.
race 7.
Yeah, we're going to go, race 7. The Woodford, definitely keep an eye on, but that's not the one that's on there. Here we go. The Thoroughbred Club of America Stakes. This is for 3-year-olds and up, going 3-year-old fillies and up, going 6 furlongs on the And we on the dirt, it will be getting you into the filly and mare sprint. Raider Jim, I will give you the honors to get us started on the TCAS.
Yeah, another small field for the first race that we're going to talk about at Keeneland on Saturday. Again, it's race 7, the Thoroughbred Club of America Stakes. Grade 2, 6 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up, $250,000 purse. A lot of familiar names in this one. I was surprised when I opened it up. It's like, oh, I know that one. I remember this one. I remember this one. Hands down favorite for me is the 6-horse Bell's the One. Bell's the One is the morning line favorite, also at 7-5 right now. Such a small field and talented field. It's a good one. Everybody should be able to put some money down and finish in the money. 6 Bell's the One. I like the 1 horse on the rail, Frank's Rocket at 5-2. The 4 horse Estilio Talentoso at 5-2. And underneath, I think I would fill in with the 2 horse Club Car, 10-1. Some of the longer odds out there, but I like the way that horse's record shows. Tyler Gaffalone is the jockey on that horse. That's going to be a good race.
Yeah, this is very, I agree with you. I think Bell's the One. This is her horse, or this is that horse's opportunity to get in the winner's circle. 7-5, very warranted. And, you know, the only time this horse, you know, really has, I don't want to say struggled, but, you know, been less than the 97, 98s at this distance, at least. It did lose out to Gamine back in May, but, you know, a lot of things have happened since then. It's going to be very interesting. Bell's the One by far, you know, for the speed numbers. Definitely keep an eye there. I'll bring up number 5, Miss Mosaic. I go back to June at Churchill Downs. This horse ran in 92. I think that will definitely play here at 15-1. Definitely value there. However, this horse has not ran since the end of July. And, you know, a lot of things have changed since July. That's a long layoff. Like a lot of these horses, not all of them, but a lot of these horses have had quite the layoff, as opposed to the horse or the race we talked about, I think, to start, where were a couple that have ran, you know, within the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just to piggyback on what you talked about with Club Car, the blinkers are going on here, which I'm always kind of a big fan on, just because, you know, that they don't put the blinkers on just so that they could get their you know, colors, their silks on the horse. No, that's not the case. There's definitely a reason. Excuse me. And this horse, once again, a little bit of a layoff, not nearly as long as the other horse I just talked about, but has been very, very consistent in the mid to high 80s, which will have to definitely improve here. But you got to look for value here. You know, if you're on Bell's the One, that's great, but, you know, at 7-5 morning line, probably going to drop below even money. You're going to have to put a little more money out if you don't want to play with the exotics. But Frank's Rocket, I think you brought up the 1 horse, currently 5-2. Big step up in class here. This is a horse, at least for this year, an opportunity. Been running kind of in the grade 3s and the lower ungraded stakes races, and has ran well. However, last time out, not a huge knock, still ran in 90. However, was less than even money in that one, finished 3rd. So keep an eye there. But this is a horse also that was in last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint, was 6-1. You know, not a factor, but still, for Frank's Rocket, this is a horse that's been, you know, in the winner's circle 50% of its starts. And even on top of that, it's been in, let's see, wow, that's 15 of its 16 runs have been in the money. So for Frank's Rocket, you got a really good shot of being in the money. However, at 5-2, maybe even dropping a little lower, you might need to find some value elsewhere in this one. But yeah, for me, Bell's the One. This is her horse, or her race to lose. We will see how that goes. But moving on to race number 8 is going to be the grade 1 First Lady Stakes. This will get you into the Maker's Mark filly and mare turf. So obviously they're going a mile on the turf for 3-year-old fillies and up. Excuse me, sorry. For me, the top horse here, going through it, and I went through this kind of without money lines when I was doing this last night. I really, really like what I've seen out of the 10 horse Princess Grace. You got Kent Desormeaux aboard, Michael Stidham, the trainer, 6 out of 7 in the winner's circle. Even the one where it didn't make it in the winner's circle finished second in that one. Has been in the high 90s, or at least the low 90s to low 90s to low triple digits all year this year. Only 3 runs this year, a bit of a layoff in this one for Princess Grace, but it's 6-1. I'm a big fan of what I've seen out of that horse. Ton of value there. The 3 horse is Althea, and at 7-2, 2 for 2 in its career in North America. Spent a lot of time in Great Britain, and then towards the end was in Maiden, which I believe is the United Arab Emirates. But anyways, not in North America, but since coming to North America has won 2 turf miles, both at the grade 1 level, both as somewhat underdog. I mean, the first one was 7.5-1, and last time out in the Diana at Saratoga, July 17th, once again, a bit of a layoff, but ran a 102 to win as a 4-1 shot. So 7-2 by far, at least coming into North America, the lowest odds it's had, but I'm a big fan of what I've seen out of this horse. And the last horse here, another value horse for me, is the 13 horse, Vladera. 8-1 currently, has been another one of these horses that it was last year that made its kind of North American debut, has been very, very consistent and been very good. The one knock I will say on this is it struggled to beat Regal Glory and Henry Woods, which both horses will be running in this race. So that is something definitely to keep an eye on. But in terms of getting in the winner's circle, 7 out of its 15 runs has been in the winner's circle. And even just since last July, this horse has been in the winner's circle 4 out of its 5 runs. So been in a very, very nice little run of things. Definitely a step up here, but I do like to keep an eye on that horse, especially at 8-1. But Raider Jim, what do you got for the First Lady Stakes at Keeneland?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of number 6, Regal Glory. Regal Glory, I think, is going to have a fantastic race. One of the few out there on the track that has had multiple starts at this distance. Not, I shouldn't say the only, but has had the second most. 7-horse Daddy is a Legend has had, I believe, 11, but that horse has kind of tapered off lately. But Regal Glory, I think you're going to see a good race out of Regal Glory. Also like Princess Grace very, very much. And again, I believe that's Desormeaux's riding that horse. And he does very, very well with Princess Grace. So look for 6, 10. Althea, I like Althea, but has only run once at the distance, although at 7-2, is obviously somebody knows something out there. And so I will keep my eye on the odds on that one. The one that might be a surprise out there is actually the 5-horse, and that is Hetty Woods. Hetty Woods is the name of the horse. Runs good, runs at the distance, and runs fast. So that's Tyler Gaffalone's going to be riding that horse, trained by Mark Case. You can't go wrong with that combination. So it's going to be Regal Glory, Princess Grace, Althea, and Hetty Woods.
Yeah, and I'll throw one more in there, and a horse that's unfortunately been on, I would say, a bit of a downturn. If you're just looking at the buyer scores, still very impressive buyer scores, but it's trending in the wrong direction. It's the 8-horse Harvey's Little Goyle. This is a horse last year that made some people some money in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, which will get you a ticket in here winning. It finished 3rd as a 20-1 shot. This is a American Pharoah, sired horse. So keep an eye there at I think that's 6-1. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, 6-1. Keep an eye there. You got Junior Alvarado aboard, William Mott as the trainer. Once again, we go back to the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf last year, kind of peaked at a 102, came back in its first start this year, ran a 101. Since then, once again, a 94, nothing to sneeze at, 98, nothing to sneeze at, but last time out, granted it was on dirt, but last time out only ran an 80. So keep an eye there. But however, I will say in that race, that was a race with Royal Flag, Bonnie South, and Latruska. So I don't want to dismiss Harvey Little Goyle, but definitely not kind of on that level of Bonnie South and Latruska and some of the other, we'll call them distaff, the horses that are going to be running in the distaff this coming year in the Breeders' Cup. So keep an eye on Harvey's Little Goyle, but once again, with the asterisk of kind of moving in the wrong direction, but we'll see how that goes. Race number 9 is the Claiborne Breeders' Claiborne Breeders' Futurity. This will get you into the TVG Juvenile, which is of course kind of that I'll call it the essential quality race, the one that gets everybody, whoever wins that race is immediately the favorite in the Kentucky Derby. Raider Jim, I'll give you the honors. Race number 9 at Keeneland, purse of $500,000, a mile and 16 on the dirt.
Yeah, I like number 1, Double Thunder, the horse on the rail at 4-1. Great speed, has a good record, and at Winner's Circle last time out, we should see a duplicate effort on that one. Also like 5, Don't Wait Up at 9-2. Like number 13 on the outside, Classic Causeway at 5-1. And then 1 I'm probably going to sneak in there underneath, little higher odds, but I like the record, I like the speed, and it has done the distance before, and that is 12, Kevin's Folly. Like those horses, 1, 5, 13, and 12. And again, this is one of those fields where there's 13 horses. It's going to be quite a race to watch.
Yeah, and when you talk about a big field, 2 turns with 2-year-olds, your first question is, okay, where's their post position? Just to kind of see how they go. I am really a big fan of that 13 horse Classic Causeway. And look, I know it's only ran 1 race. It's kind of what you deal with 2-year-olds, a small sample size. But in that 1 race, it was at Saratoga. It was last month, broke its maiden, running a 90 buyer score, which there are very few horses that will debut anything higher than a 75, let alone a 90. Won by 6.5 lengths. And by the way, the horse that came in second ran an 81 buyer. So nothing to sneeze at there. That horse also did go on to break its maiden in its next race. Classic Causeway at 5-1. For me, this is the one where you try and, lock that in at 5-1. I expect that to get a little bit of shorter odds. I'm with you as well on the 5 horse, Don't Wait Up. I believe is the favorite, kind of going through it. 5. Actually, Stellar
Double
Tap
Thunder.
As well. Double Thunder. Gotcha. Yep, you're right. So yeah, Double Thunder, the favorite at 4-1. Even Stellar Tap 9-2. But Don't Wait Up. This is a horse broke its maiden last time out, 6 furlongs. Big question here for a lot of these horses is, can they stretch out to this distance? And that kind of brings you to the 6 horse, Rattle and Roll. It's a horse, once again, it broke its maiden at this distance. However, it ran a 69. Look, winning's great, but once again, running a 69 buyer, you're going to have to do a lot better to get into the winner's circle here. But the fact that this horse is at least ran at a mile and 16, and to be honest, a mile and an 1/8, didn't win at a mile and an 1/8 going back to the August run at Saratoga. But some of these horses, 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, that's about it. One last one I do want to bring up is Great Escape. Broke its maiden last time out at Churchill, ran a 79. Once again, though, only 7 furlongs. Did beat Seal Beach, who's running in this race. Probably not going to be a factor for Seal Beach, currently 30-1, but still a bit of familiarity for Great Escape, kind of knowing that, hey, I beat at least one of these horses that are going to be lining up with me. So that'll be an interesting race. But for me, 5-1 on Classic Causeway, that is something that is definitely going to catch my eye anytime that gets rolling. But moving on to the final race we'll be talking about at Keeneland. It is the Grade 1 Keeneland Turf Mile Stakes. This is going to get you into the FanDuel Mile. And I will get this one started. First one that jumped out to me, at least in terms of more probably a value as I roll through my notes. So one thing about these, these bigger races, you got to scroll a little bit. The 10 horse, Order of Australia. I'll tell you what, folks, I will never forget about this horse. Has only ran once, or at least I believe only ran once in North America, and it was a hell of a run in the North America. This is your defending Breeders' Cup Mile champion. Ran last year, I should say, got the job done at a cool 73-1. I don't remember that payout, but it was a hell of a payout. And I remember that was the moment for me when I said, okay, I have to start paying attention to the European horses, or the non-North America horses. This is a horse that's bred in Ireland, has spent most of its time in Ireland, Great Britain, and France, maybe even a Hong Kong seems to be in there as well. Currently 7-2. It is a little difficult when you have horses like this running only in Europe. It's a little difficult to kind of get film or even get, the time form, running 120s, 119s, that's always going to play. Ran a 105 buyer last year in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Obviously, if it does that again, it will win this race. The 7-horse Pixelate is Tyler Gaffalione aboard there. Last time out, got the job done over Some Like It Hot Brown, and Monarch's Glen, I believe, is the other horse there to keep an eye on. So there's definitely some familiarity. Ran at 99 in that race, going a mile, so we know it can do it. But for me, another horse right now that I believe has a ton of value is the 6-horse Ivar out of Brazil. It's a horse that's been pretty much, I'm just looking at its last 5 races. 4 of those 5 races have been in the triple digits, according to the buyer. And the only one it did not get in to the triple digits, it ran a 97. That was in the Turf Classic, domestic spending, among others, beating it out, including Smooth Like Straight. So for me, once again, I look at Ivar at a moment at 5-1. I really like that number, and I really like that value there. But Raider Jim, what are your thoughts on the Keeneland Turf Mile Stakes?
Yeah, we all remember Order of Australia. That was just one amazing run, one amazing payout. But we'll see what happens this weekend. I really find that 6 Ivar is the favorite for me. That horse out of Brazil is strong, fast, loves the distance, has the fastest speed at the distance of anybody in the field. So I like 6 Ivar, I like 7 Pixelate, I like 10 Order of Australia. Those are the top 3. I'm going to fill in underneath probably with number 13, Some Like It Hot Brown. Yeah, Order of Australia, just I smile every time I see the name. But this is going to be a good race, but Ivar, hands down, I think is got to be my favorite as far as me watching the race.
Yeah, once again, this is a situation at 5-1. It's almost like, okay, here, take my money. Fine, lock me in at 5-1. You can even probably lock me in at 3-1, and I'll be happy with that. For Order of Australia, I always call it the Back to the Future horse. When you go back to the future and you get the sports almanac, right? I don't care about this or that. Just give me a 75-1 shot in a horse race. That's all I need. That's all I need. It's only one thing that, I don't want to ruin everything, the space-time continuum, but those are the horses right there. And for me, I always go back. There was a horse, this was 5 or 6 years ago, horse called She's Flush at Del Mar, came off at 55-60-1. And I was watching TVG, and one of the commentators said, hey, you know what? Keep an eye on this horse. Threw $2 on it, came up, ended up winning a cool, $85, $90, $2 payout. So I'll never forget She's Flush. Never forget Order of Australia, for different reasons. Once again, She's Flush was because I actually won. Order of Australia was because I was kicking myself because, once again, you have to find those European horses. But there is one other race going on that will get you into the Breeders' Cup. Unfortunately, I was unable to find the past performances, or at least I was able to, but I had some technical difficulties. It will be going off at Belmont to get you into the Breeders' Cup Sprint. It is the Vosburg. Raider Jim, do you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, a lot of familiar names. This is, again, the smallest field, I think, or at least close to the smallest field that we're going to see on the weekend, on Saturday for sure. Only 5 entries. So again, take 4 horses, fill in underneath with 1, but you should be able to walk away with some money. Unfortunately, the odds are not that great. The highest odds you're going to find are on the 2-horse Good Effort at 15-1. That's an Irish horse. Other than that, familiar names. The number 3 horse, Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's at 7-5 right now. Winner Circle last time out has won 3 of its 4 races this year, $100,000 in winnings. The other horse is one I'm very familiar with, the 4-horse Ferenz Fire, currently at 8-5. 36 outings, 14 times it has been to the winner's circle, has won over $2.5 million. Second place the last time out, has had 42 days off, but I don't think that's going to hamper Ferenz Fire's performance in this one. And then number 1 on the rail, Jalen Journey, also a nice horse, good strong horse. 16 starts, 8 times in the winner's circle. Currently at 7-2, 21 days off. It ran to the winner's circle the last time out. And then the 4th horse, if you want to have a horse to fill in underneath with of the small field, it would be 5, Following C at 9-2. On the outside in a small field, this is going to be a good race. 6 furlongs, it's going to go quick, but watch for Ferenz Fire and Baby Yoda to do their job.
Yeah, and certain horses, I'll tell you this right now, I can guarantee you without looking at the PPs or anything like that, Baby Yoda's number is going to go down lower, and it sounds ridiculous, but I guarantee it. Big reason why is because there are going to be a lot of amateur bettors or people who maybe got dragged to the track, and I don't say drag, but aren't big time horse players. They're big fans of Baby Yoda. Guess what? Boom, they're going to put money on Baby Yoda. There are a lot of people. Once again, I don't believe you should do that. However, I've done it in the past. Brando, the bartender, is one on this podcast. We've talked about, once again, kind of putting that asterisk. You shouldn't, only do it because of this, but we did have some other, reasons why, and it did come in for us. But yeah, Baby Yoda, that's one of those where I see it on my program and I might not know anything about it, but I'll know whatever that morning line is, it's probably going to get smaller, because there are going to be a lot of people that go, you know what? I love Baby Yoda. Here's $40 to see if you come in first. And everybody wants to go and say that they won money on a horse called Baby Yoda. And you know what? More power to them. And in this case, it's 7-5. You're going to have your ticket, but you probably won't have a ton of money after the fact if the horse does come in. But Ferenz Fire, as you brought up.
To keep in mind, when you look at the speeds of the horses, and again, we have 4 that it's pretty tight between 4 of the horses, except for the 2 horse. 1, 3, 4, 5 of those 4 horses, it's Baby Yoda that has the slowest speed at this distance. Ferenz Fire is, by far and away the fastest of the group, followed by Jalen Journey, and then it's going to be Following C. Those are actually the top 3 as far as speed at the distance. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting race. All eyes are going to be on Keeneland, but for a short while, they will be taken off to check out the Vosburg at Belmont there. Obviously, Belmont Park always giving us fantastic racing. This weekend will be no different. Same with Keeneland. And, really, this is kind of I don't want to say it's like the last, it's that Sunday, right, of college basketball, where there are those 3 conference championship games, and then everybody just kind of waits to see, okay, where everybody gets put in. That's kind of where we're going to be after this weekend. And once again, we're still going to be talking about certain races coming up, but it is a bit of a slower time, and I'll put those in air quotes. Even some of these horses that have already qualified, you're probably not going to see them run over the next 2 weeks because you want to kind of keep them fresh, unless they're at Santa Anita or something like that. They don't have to travel too much to the West Coast to get that done. But for the next few weeks, we'll probably kind of just be recapping some of the big races and putting some of these horses that we know will be in before we get the post positions and the past performances, all things like that. But we're going to know some of these horses, or at the very least eligible. Talking about the Tripolis, the essential qualities, the Latruscas, the horses like that, kind of putting that all together and having an early kind of look at how everything is going to go. But in terms of this episode, and really in terms of all the previews for the Breeders' Cup prep races, that is all we got. We're going to put a big bow on all that. And once again, a big time reminder, on Sunday, there will also be 3 or 4 races at Keeneland. We were unable to get those, really fully dissected. Another reason to follow Raider Jim at Raider Jim 1090. He will keep you updated on everything going on there. So with that, Raider Jim, final thoughts for this edition of the original Call to Post.
Yeah, we only mentioned Belmont a couple times because we're only focusing on the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series races, but I wanted to draw attention on Saturday the 9th, race 7. It's the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic Stakes. It's a grade 1 race at Belmont, $500,000 purse, all-star field, and that's why I'm bringing attention to this one. You need to take a look at the program here. You're going to have Arklow running out of the 2 spot, Gufo running out of the 3 spot, Rock Emperor running out of the 4 spot, Cross Borders running out of the 5 spot, Channel Makers in the 6 spot, Japan from Great Britain is running in the 7 spot. Wow, this is just going to be amazing. That's can't miss racing right there. Again, that's race 7 at Belmont on Saturday. I'm going to make sure I get an eye on that one through TVG.
Definitely. And, covering these Breeders' Cup prep races, it's not discounting any of the races that we don't cover. It's just kind of one of those, keep our mind on one thing, stay on track. And, especially obviously, selfishly, we're definitely keeping our very close eye on the Breeders' Cup. This year, you thought we were going to go the whole show without reminding you, but this is my reminder to tell y'all we'll be there Friday. Myself and Raider Jim, Future Star Friday. Cannot wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see what we can do. Probably do maybe a little live stream or something with Twitter, see how that goes. Might have to find myself a selfie stick one way or another. But with that, folks, thank you all so much for listening to this edition of the original Call to Post presented by the First Off the Bench Podcast Network. Everyone comes off the bench, but we are first. It is time for you all to go wash your hands and stop hating, everybody. We'll talk to you all very soon and getting you ready for the Breeders' Cup.
That's smart and bet safe.